My name's Jane and I live in Ellardale Street, which is quite close to the proposed development, and I'm mainly objecting on the grounds that I think there's enough housing of this type in Lewisham already. I did a calculation that the council's more or less reached 94% of its strategic target already in Lewisham, and there really isn't enough social housing being built, and the affordable housing component of this development is too small, and it's also going to have a corridor, which I object to on principle. The fancy housing is going to have terraced gardens, private access. The affordable housing is just stuck at the end, and it's going to have...
Do you know that they're suggesting that the affordable housing component be reduced to 20% from the original plan?
Yeah, I'm really surprised that it's come to committee actually, because in the original proposal it was 33. It's not now gone down to 21%, and of the commercial units they've only reduced the number by one. So I don't understand why the council's permitting them to put forward a proposal that's actually got fewer affordable houses in it than the original proposal.
And did you know that Lewisham and Deptford Labour Party have a policy to oppose this development?
Well, I hope so, and I hope the Labour Party in general starts to act on this kind of development, because obviously the Conservatives are starting to talk about social housing. I think the Labour Party ought to be doing something about it.
Okay, thanks.
My name is Mary Fine. I live at 23 Masala Road, which is literally at the back of the new development. And I object because my house was underpinned many years ago. And as they went down, they had to go even deeper because they met a lot of water and it wasn't. So building that high tower the high tower could be affecting my house. Another thing is the train line that's there. We've had two incidents at the moment where people were running from the police and they came into my on the train line, in my backyard, over my fence, because I'm sort of semi-detached, and the police was after them. And the safety, so that's the safety aspect. And then when that high tower goes up, it's going to block all our light. Our gardens are going to be dark, and so it's not going to be very nice in the gardens when that goes up, because 15, 16 stories is very high.
Yeah, 16 stories.
It's too high. If they do low buildings, we could probably accommodate that. 15 and 16 stories is much too high for such a narrow area anyway. The parking, even now, I have to put out bins to make sure I get a parking space. So with so many people, where will we park? And we're already paying so much for the privilege to park in front of your gate or in the road. So with so many more tenants, it's going to be very difficult. Yeah? Those are the main areas. That's yeah.
Did you know that Lewisham Deptford Labour Party have a policy to oppose this development?
No.
They have. So, would you expect Lewisham Deptford councillors, or the wards in Lewisham Deptford, to oppose this development?
Oh yes. Because the area is too small and it's so highly, all these high-rise blocks that they've put up, the area is too congested. There's very little green space now, and to add such a confined area, it will be too much.
God.
You have to say your name, where you live, and then go on.
No, just your name, it's fine.
Rosalind. You see, she's a horrible woman.
I'll keep that in.
Rosalind. Okay. What else you want? I live at Masala Road, number 31. My main objection is I will be totally overlooked from the back of my house and the front of my house. They'll take the light away. I would lose all my privacy. You can't come out of the bathroom unless you're clothed then, because you don't know who's looking at you. I'm worried about crime because we've had somebody jump into our garden in the past from the railway line, and a few people on the road has had that as well. I'm worried about subsidence because I've had that. It is a flood area. I'm worried about if this goes ahead and they start digging, excavating to put this building up, it's going to affect the property because we've had subsidence. I'm worried about derailment because the train runs right at the bottom of the garden. I'm not so worried about the schools because I haven't got kids, but I'm worried about parents who've got young kids and have nowhere to put them in school. I understand the breakfast clubs are all oversubscribed after school clubs. I don't know what Lewisham is doing with all the money that we pay in council tax because there's nothing in the area. There's no nice places to sit down and have a meal or to have drink or nothing. So if we wanted to go out, instead of walking down to Lewisham, you've got to go up to Greenwich or Blackheath. So we're giving the money to them rather than to Lewisham. What else am I wanting?
Did you know, I've just got a couple of questions, that Lewisham Deptford Labour Party, and of course all the councillors are Labour, as you know, has a policy passed to oppose this development.
Oh, have they?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
They do, and would you expect any Lewisham councillor from Lewisham Deptford ward to
No,
oppose?
I haven't met anybody who said they're going to oppose it.
They may or may not. But
And this is what worries me because it is a Labour borough.
Yes.
I think the councillors are so sure of their seat that they're not fighting for the constituents because there's nobody to oppose them. It's fully Labour, isn't it?